right, so using the empirical rule, we are going to determine the following temperature ranges. So the mean daily high temperature in San Francisco is 65 degrees, and the standard deviation is 8 degrees Fahrenheit. So use the empirical rule to determine the temperature ranges. About 68% of the cities will have temperatures between. Right? So we want to figure out what's within one standard deviation of our mean. So if we take our mean, which is 65, and we subtract our standard deviation, which is 8, we get a temperature one standard deviation below the mean at 57. And if we take our mean 65 and add 8, we get a temperature one standard deviation above at 73. So we're going to have a mean temperature between 57 and 73 degrees. Right, so 68% of the cities will have temperatures between there. Right, about 95% will have temperatures between. Well, we've moved out one standard deviation, so let's move out another. So we're going to take that 57 that we just got and subtract 8 to get 49. And we're going to take that 73 that we just got and add 8, and we get 81. So about 95% will be between 49 degrees and 81 degrees. Right? Another way we could do this, if we started with our original values, we could take 65 minus 2 times our standard deviation of 8, which also gives us 49. Or we could start at our mean and say 65 plus 2 times our standard deviation of 8 also gives us 81. So we have kind of alternate ways of working these out. Almost all, 99.7%, are going to be between, right? So we're going to take this 49 and subtract 8 to get 41. Take this 81 and add 8 to get 89. So about 99.7 will be between 41 degrees Fahrenheit and 89 degrees. Again, if we wanted to start from our mean, we could subtract 3 times our standard deviation to get that 41, or add 3 times that standard deviation to get that 89. Okay. Right, use the empirical rule, decide whether it is unusual to have a day when the maximum temperature is colder than 48 degrees in San Francisco. We're going to use this little diagram, and we're going to use the temperatures that we came up with up here to label our diagram. So as we're labeling our diagram, our mean was 65. Right? So we're going to put 65 right here in the middle. Right? As we went down, we saw temperatures of 57 degrees at our first standard deviation, 49 degrees at our second standard deviation, and then 41 degrees at that third standard deviation. Going up, we saw 73 degrees, 81 degrees, and 89 degrees. But now, when we see the word unusual, remember unusual means within 2 standard deviations of the mean. So our cutoff for unusual, right, is going to be between 2 standard deviations of our mean. So anything outside of those green bars that I just drew is unusual. So a day that it is 48 degrees, well, that would be out here. That's going to land in one of these tails. If we land in one of these tails, we are outside 2 standard deviations, so it would be unusual. So we're going to say yes, it would be unusual. Uh, 48 degrees Fahrenheit is more than 2 standard deviations from the mean. And if we look at this in kind of this breakdown, we have 95% in between here, so we only have 2.5% in each of these little tails. So only 2.5% of the days have a maximum temperature below 49 degrees Fahrenheit. Right, so anything below 49 degrees Fahrenheit would be considered unusual.